My dears, a big greeting from me. I think we are all interested in what the world will look like and what changes await us in the next 10 years. Not because we like fear, but because we want clarity. Today, the greatest prophecy comes not from mystics or prophets, but from technology. Artificial intelligence is changing work, truth, and human behavior faster than most people can even comprehend. Many experts warn us that the real danger is not machines, but rather what people do with them. But long before artificial intelligence, people were already warning about the same human patterns. Fear, chaos, sudden change, and the search for meaning. One of those voices came from post-war Germany. His name was Alois Irlmaier, and his warnings are still circulating today. Alois Irlmaier, 1894–1959. Germany is one of the most discussed European soothsayers of the post-war era. What makes his case unusual is the paper trail. Statements attributed to him appear in printed sources, including German newspapers from 1949 and 1950, and later compilations such as Blick in die Zukunft. One of the most frequently repeated patterns begins with a strange warning: everything seeks peace. And then it happens. Prompt, according to him, at the time when people begin to believe that stability is returning, a real shock will follow. In a later source, this is linked to rising tensions in the Middle East and the Mediterranean. In the 1955 edition of Looking to the Future, one detail stands out as the trigger: the idea of a third political assassination after which everything begins. The decisive spark is described as coming from the Balkans, the assassination of the Great, followed by a rapid escalation. I personally find this incredible. Is the spark for the Great World War here again in the Balkans? But let's start from the beginning. Irlmaier has said in many interviews that there will come a time when people in Germany and Central Europe will live better than ever before. But then, climate change will follow. He mentioned a much warmer climate, and that he would, in happy times in Bavaria, especially in the southern part, the temperature will be the same as in Italy. We will be able to harvest wine and even figs in the Oberland, and hardworking farmers will be able to have 2 harvests. Altbayerische Heimatpost, the 20th of November 1949. From Stefan Bernst's publication we learn that Alois Irlmaier said that first comes unprecedented prosperity in Germany and the surrounding countries. Then follows an unprecedented decline in faith among people. After that follows an unprecedented moral decline of all nations. And then a large number of foreigners, immigrants from various parts of Europe, Asia, as well as asylum seekers from Asia and Africa come to the country. Inflation begins to grow more and more. Money loses more and more value. The world is in an increasing economic crisis, and unrest breaks out throughout Europe. After that, panic takes over. Not just fear, but the kind of panic that makes people rush, hoard, argue, and lose clarity. One of his most repeated statements is disruption. Normal routines quickly collapse, and everyday life becomes unpredictable. When supply chains break, when energy becomes uncertain, when work and daily stability cannot be taken for granted, people begin to realize how fragile modern life really is. And then, in many versions of these prophecies, Europe becomes the center of unrest and greater conflict. The economic crisis spreads, bringing pressure, movement, and fear. In an interview, Irlmaier told a journalist about the future. "I have already said that it is not very nice. There are still many difficulties waiting for our country. But not only for it, but for our whole world. The Third Great War is almost certain, but I do not know when it will come, asterisk. I see 3, it could be only 3 days, but one thing is certain, it will not last long. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months, but it will certainly not last longer than that. And that is a good that it will pass so quickly. And there will be a great famine." And he often mentioned that statement, that many people will face hunger. In interviews, people will beg for food. It will be hard even for those who were doing well before. He also describes people on the move, families seeking safety and trying to survive the unknown. In the report Factual Reports on Alois Irlmaier, 1952, Irlmaier's words are recorded, "People always think that everything should go the way they want. But I see clearly that another war is coming. First, they will kill a third man, also in a high position. They have already killed 2. There, where the sun rises, they will have to pay. And then the war will break out overnight. The war will be cruel." The book Blick in die Zukunft further cites Irlmaier's statements in which he describes the escalation as almost instantaneous overnight. Foreign soldiers appear so quickly that people are still sitting in the tavern and the soldiers are already looking through the windows and doors. In other reports, Irlmaier is associated with the image of large forces moving in several directions, described as 3 main breakthroughs. The sources describe a movement from the east, swift and inexorable, penetrating deep into Central Europe. And the narrative repeatedly links the broad attention to the Middle East, but describes the decisive spark as coming from the Balkans. Much of the material focuses on Italy and the Vatican. In the 1950 and 1955 editions of Blick in die Zukunft, the text describes chaos and extreme unrest in Italy, severe violence, including the attack and murder of many priests in the Vatican, and the Pope being forced to flee for a short time, crossing the water and going west towards a city with a large church near a large body of water, and later returning when peace is restored. Irlmaier repeatedly predicted that the inhabitants of Paris would burn their own city during World War III, actually burn it to the ground. The great city with the tall iron tower is burning. They set it on fire only, not those who entered from the east. And the city will be razed to the ground, I know that for sure. Blick in die Zukunft, 1950, page 38. Irlmaier's statements point to the present. A warning sign in this regard were riots in many countries. A society in a state of economic impotence transfers its economic deficits to the weakest members of society. Allocations for the education system are being reduced. There are many young people who are unemployed. Young people who start their careers have to work for minimum wages and continue to live with their parents because they cannot afford their own apartment. The situation is similar in Italy, and there, according to Irlmaier and others, civil war-like conditions are expected to emerge on the eve of World War III. In the case of France, it should be noted that in the context of other prophecies, civil war should break out just before the Russian attack, several weeks earlier. Irlmaier's statements about Paris therefore point to the 3rd millennium. Then further on in Irlmaier's vision of the surprise attack, I see 3 great armies advancing in a wide pincer movement towards the Ruhr area. Then rapid escalation, blow after blow domino effect, rapid spread, source PSI und der Dritte Weltkrieg P.63. Russian troops enter Belgrade from the east. The Balkans as a center of rupture. Source PSI und der Dritte Weltkrieg P.63. Eastern troops are attacking the U Secunda across some water. This is a large-scale attack. Irlmaier then describes how Russian troops suddenly burst out of the Czech Republic and attacked the Bavarian forest. It starts at night, then they come, all black across the forest. Of course, these scenarios sound extremely unlikely given that the Czech Republic is a member of NATO. Many will call them absurd. However, the likelihood of this scenario would increase if NATO were to be dissolved or effectively divided in the meantime. A divided or weakened NATO would certainly increase Russia's room for maneuver. Irlmaier then describes the breakthrough from the east and sees again the troops with yellow-faced soldiers advancing towards Italy. And I see many more big birds. Some come from the east, some from the south. They fly over us, southeastern Bavaria, i.e. northwards, BJ's note. And where they drop something, it's bad. They're pretty dangerous. There it will become desolate, green and yellow. I can even see the grass dying there. Not a worm, not a bush, not a tree will remain. They will destroy the huge white doves. This unexplained event, described as an air raid, sometimes called the yellow or green-yellow phenomenon, represents a zone where nothing survives. The source himself admits that he cannot clearly explain what it is. According to some researchers of Irlmaier's visions, it could be an attack by the US Second Air Force, in which chemical weapons would be used with the aim of forcing the Russians to withdraw. One thing I know for sure, he continues, when war comes, it will hit the north hardest. In an interview with the newspaper Altbayerische Heimatpost on 20.11 1949, Irlmaier described a vision in which something would fall into the sea, often interpreted as some kind of missile or celestial body, causing a giant tidal wave. According to him, a huge wave as high as a house would crash onto the shores and flood them. He described a great city in the sea that would be almost completely submerged. Although he did not always name the city directly, many interpreters believe that this refers to cities on the North Sea coast or even London and parts of southern England. He also said that the earth would shake and parts of the land would disappear underwater. Above the Great Water, North America, note B, still comes soot. In one interview, we interrupted Irlmaier by asking whether of Bavaria would be spared. He means part of southeastern Bavaria, which he said, in his opinion, only this part will not suffer much. Well, you don't have to worry there in the Allgäu and on the Lech. You won't be affected much, but a large number of refugees will come and your own people will steal and plunder, and it will be a shame. Irlmaier also had an immediate answer to our second question, whether he believed that religious buildings in general would have a protective effect in the next war. I can say this with certainty. All the people who live around the holy place, they will be spared. Not a hair will fall from their heads. Heaven will take care of it. They told me that there in Fachvenwinkel, between Lech and Emma, there is also a large pilgrimage church where people pray to the crucified Lord. Nothing will happen there, that's for sure. Only refugees will come. Add to this a quote from Irlmaier from the Landshuter Zeitung newspaper of April 12, 1950, which states, "You can stay in Landshut. Therefore, the area between Landshut and the Alps would be safe from war, including Munich. The war will not last long. After a month and a half, the Russians will probably withdraw and the victory of the West will gradually become apparent. The American will become the second master, and then we will again have free reign in our homeland. We will have golden times. I clearly see 3 crowns that will rule in the fear of God. We will have the Danube monarchy. We will start all over again, and people will again live in the fear and trust in God as they should be. And in Russia and the eastern countries, revolution breaks out as an internal purge. Irlmaier predicts that while the army is advancing westward, a terrible internal breakdown will occur in Russia itself. He says, "Death of leaders. The great leaders of the party are killing each other. These are those old debts washed away in blood. Civil war. He sees a red mass mixed with yellow faces and general chaos. This is usually interpreted as an internal conflict of different factions or peoples within the East itself, leading to the collapse of the entire system. This revolution is probably also the reason why the army retreats or is defeated. When the system cracks from within, the soldiers have no one to listen to or where to receive supplies. The 3 days of darkness come as the final seal on this chaos. They wipe out what is left of evil and force all survivors into absolute humility." According to Irlmaier's prophecies, the 3 days of darkness occur at the moment of the most intense fighting. They are not a prelude to war, but a cruel dot on the I that forcibly stops all fighting. Here is how he describes this dramatic sequence. The chaos of war. The conflict is already in full swing. He then mentions the golden line that is being dropped from the air to stop the advancing army from the east. This line stretches from the Golden City all the way to the sea coast in the north. It serves as an insurmountable barrier. Anyone who tries to cross it will die immediately. Golden City. The name Golden Line is often associated with Prague, where the line starts, but also with the color of the powder itself, which can appear golden or yellow in the sun. And then we come to the grand finale. In the midst of this worst chaos, there will be total darkness that will last 72 hours. Irlmaier claims that this darkness will be so thick that you won't be able to see a finger in front of your eye. This event acts as a cosmic reset. He says that during these 3 days, more people will die than in all previous wars and military operations combined, but that it will also force the survivors to lay down their weapons. This is, I think, his most famous prophecy. During these 3 days, according to Irlmaier, one should not go outside. Windows should be covered with black paper and not look through them, because terrible things will happen to nature and the earth. It is during this period, according to his visions, that the greatest changes in sea level and the disappearance of entire regions occur. The 3 days of darkness are the culmination of the cataclysm that occurs while the war is still ongoing, but serves as its definitive and terrible end. Ibtonna will be a great purification. A higher power will purify all the evil on earth. The veneration of the cross is one of the most beautiful parts of his prophecy. He claims that after that terrible destruction there will be a change in people's consciousness. People who were atheists or persecutors of the church will become deeply religious. Eastern prayer. He specifically mentions how people light candles in front of black images of Mary and sing Easter songs. The appearance of the great monarch is one of the most fascinating parts of Irlmaier's visions, as it marks the transition from total destruction to an era of prosperity. For Irlmaier, he is not just a political leader, but a figure who brings divine order to the land. According to the prophecies, he appears immediately after the 3 days of darkness. While the world lies in ruins, he emerges as a figure who unites the survivors. Coronation by the Pope. Irlmaier mentions that the new Pope, who had to flee Rome during the war but is now returning, will crown this ruler. This coronation is often associated with the cathedrals of Cologne or Vienna. Physical description. Irlmaier describes him as an elderly man, thin and noble-faced, wearing traditional clothing. Restoration of the Danubian monarchy. He will restore order to Central Europe, and the restoration of an empire that brings stability to the Balkans and surrounding countries is often mentioned. What happens next? Then comes the famous Golden Age. Irlmaier describes this as a period of incredible happiness and prosperity. A time of abundance will come. He says, bread will be everywhere, the earth will again bear fruit in abundance, hunger and poverty disappear. A long-lasting peace will come. Wars become a thing of the past. He states that a long peace will come that the world has not seen for decades. And most importantly, a return to spirituality. People return en masse to church and God. Faith becomes a central part of everyday life, but not through coercion, but through a deep gratitude for survival. People begin to live a simple life. Technological chaos calms down, and people return to nature and crafts. It will be a time when it will be human to be human again. Alois Irlmaier. Whether you view these reports literally, symbolically, or as echoes of post-war, fear, the underlying message is timeless. Systems can change quickly, and clarity is more important than panic. The goal here is not fear, it is awareness and the choice to remain grounded, faithful, and wise. But also to be aware of a possible future scenario. Perhaps it would help us all to stop for a moment and think about what we could personally do to help make the future better than these prophets tell us. All links to the original editions and PDF books I mention in this video can be found in the description below. Just click and check it out for yourself.